Hello and welcome to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Grand Arena Championships, Season 29, Week 2, Round 2. My name is Boma Fett. This is another round where I was on vacation, so you're getting voiceover after the fact. Let's see who my opponent is. Paulydubb. The Hotbot report shows more green on my side than red on Paulydubb's side, so let's zoom in and take a closer look. The GAC stats show that Paulydubb is a pretty good GAC player. 47k in the old system is not terrible, and lifetime banners of almost 900k in the old system is pretty solid. So we've got a pretty good GAC player here. Very strange to see green on my side in the roster summary, but if you look, these statistics are actually very close. It's like the matchup system actually did its job this time and made a fairly even matchup. I have a slight overall GP advantage, just over 100k more, but in the top 80, Paulydubb has a slight advantage, about 60k more. I've got almost 20 more Zetas applied than Paulydubb, but he does have one more Omicron. I've got a touch more speed at the top of my roster, and I actually have one more Gear 13 character. I don't remember the last time I had an opponent who had fewer Gear 13s than me. I also have a few more Gear 12 and Gear 11 and above. So really odd for me to see that I have an advantage in some of these statistics, but it is fairly close. I have a slight advantage in number of 6-stop mods, and I do have more mods with high-speed secondaries. Now, even though I've got one more Gear 13 character than Paulydubb, Paulydubb does have a slight advantage on total relic levels, 386 to 321. In the Galactic Legends, Paulydubb again has a small advantage, 3 GLs to 2. And in the key characters, things are fairly even. Neither one of us has Starkiller or the Grand Inquisitor. I have a slight advantage on Gear, on Maul, and on Gideon. And in the important ships, I have a small advantage on the Executor's speed. This must be because he does not have all 6-stop mods on his Piet, because we both have 7-star and Relic 8 here. So this is what a matchup system should do. It should create matchups that are like this, where our rosters are very similar, where our levels are very similar. So it will definitely depend on whether Paulydubb puts GLs on defense or holds them for offense. Let's go back to the game and take a look at the board. So as I went in to record, I found that Paulydubb had cleared my bottom zone. In the top zone, he had not attacked any of my squads yet. In the bottom zone, he had one shot, Darth Revan, Maul, and Jedi Master Kenobi, but he took 2 against Qui-Gon Jinn. Now in the back zone, I was surprised to see he was actually in the middle of attacking. So I did put my Jedi Master Luke back here, hoping that he would use his Galactic Legends up front and not have anything to use against Luke here in the back. So I decided that I would wait for him to finish attacking and I would come back later to attack his defense. On defense, he set Rolo, Finn, Jedi Training Rey, and Talzin. So this is a very weak defense. In the bottom zone, we've got Phasma, Leftover Bounty Hunters, Mothma, and Grievous. Nothing scary here. So I had seen his GAC history and knew he would be saving his Galactic Legends for offense, so I put mine on defense, knowing that there would be nothing here that was really very threatening. So I decided to wait a bit for him to finish attacking, and then came back later to do my attacks. So here's the board after Paulydubb's attacks. In the back zone, Jedi Master Luke did not catch him. He one-shot those squads. In the top zone, however, he had to take 3 against my Sith Triumvirate. One-shots against each of the others. In the fleet zone, he was unable to get through my Executor after 2 battles. He easily wiped out the other 2. So really all I had to do was full clear. So I started in the bottom zone against Grievous, and I went with the old favorite Jedi Knight Revan squad here. All of my characters are Relic 3 and above, so I added a Datacron here. And because I don't have Grandmaster Yoda in this squad, and I'm instead relying on Ezra as my main damage dealer, I decided to go with the Omicron that has a lot of crit damage on it, as well as stacking offense. I also decided to switch out Bastila Shan and Jedi Knight Revan to have the extra protection, and I figured the extra offense from the Datacron would make up for any lost offense by switching my leadership abilities. So as usual, you start with the AoE, give the buffs to Ezra, and unfortunately, the B2 stripped away the buffs. I need my characters to have buffs in order to build up that extra offense. And they need to be dispellable buffs, so the locked protection up doesn't count. After taking out the B2, I get rid of the damage immunity on the Droideka. It's been a while since I've played this counter. I was bouncing around between all of the opponent droids. It was poorly done, but I think this is just a lack of practice with this counter. I've been using Night Sisters, I've been using Wampa. It's been a while since I've used the Jedi here. So eventually I get around to the mark, and I mark Grievous, but he is a thick boy. And my tank is hurting Kanan. So Kanan goes down. I've lost the mark on Grievous already. I bring Kanan back, but I'm stuck hitting Droideka, who has the damage immunity. So this just did not go well. So I'm not making any excuses, but I am kind of making excuses because I played this really poorly, and just not having Yoda there makes a huge difference. I didn't realize how big a difference it was going to make. So I mark Grievous again, but I don't have my two biggest damage dealers on the board right now. There's no Ezra, there's no Bastila. You can see I still don't have a res available from Jolie. So finally, I'm able to res both Basti and Ezra, but time is running out. I lose Kanan again. So I decided to go after B1, get rid of B1. That way, when I have to go in to clean this up, it'll be a little bit easier. So it was really, really poorly done. Probably should have stuck with the Jedi Revan lead, or I should have gone Night Sisters or Wampa there. It was just really bad. So against Mothma, I take in Iden. This is one that I really was not worried about. We don't have Cara Dune, so we can target whoever we want, and we want to target Kyle Katarn. So we get this back and forth between Biggs and Shore Trooper for a while. It's a little annoying. It can waste some time, but no big deal. I decided to shift to Pow. He would be easier to kill than Kyle Katarn. And again, we get a bunch of back and forth between Biggs and my tanks. Get rid of Pow pretty quickly, and then shift back to Kyle Katarn. He's really the big threat here, but at only gear 12, I really was not that worried about him. When he's relicked, then he's a much bigger concern. Mothma was able to res Pow, but I'm able to kill him using the Terminate, and now he won't be able to come back. I was able to chew through Kyle Katarn. I did not get him with the Terminate, so he could be brought back if Mothma gets around to another res. Then I put the death mark on the Hoth Rebel Scout and got rid of him, leaving just Biggs left at the end. Again, this can be a little bit frustrating with all of the counter-attacking and counter-attacking, but eventually you get the mass assist with Iden, and you can work through Biggs, and you get a 65 here. So next up is the Phasma Squad. And the Bad Batch is a natural counter for First Order. There's no Omicron on the TIE Fighter pilot. So Echo goes first. He rips away the advantage. Then we get our stuns with Tech and with Wrecker. Tech only got a couple of stuns, but that's okay. Wrecker followed up. And now it's the true damage doing the work. You just pick one character to target. I target the one guy who was not stunned. Get rid of him. The rest are taking AoE damage, true damage. And it's a quick, easy 65. Against his bounty hunters, I decided to take in my bounty hunters. With the Zam Omicron, I can easily outspeed them. We do the Roar and the Mass Assists to get the contract real quick. I decided to delete Dengar before he could roll out his thermals. We've got Cad stunned, so then I go after IG-88, get him stunned, and switch over to Boma Fett. He goes down real quick. We get rid of 88, and then we get rid of Cad Bane. So another 65 there. And to clean up Grievous, I did what I should have done in the first place, which is Wampa. Now, unfortunately, because of the mark, I have to hit the Droideka over and over and over again, even though the Droideka had damage immunity. But eventually, Droideka would come out of the damage immunity. I wasn't worried about them one-shotting my Wampa. There goes Droideka. And a few hits later, I'm able to get through Grievous. And it's a 45. In the back, we've got Maul, Bad Batch, and Geonosians. So I go after the Maul squad with my CLS. So I go with a health datacron here. And we go straight after Maul. Get him down before Wat can take his turn and trigger the bonus turns from Maul. We can go straight after Boma Fett because he's not with a Separatist leader, and so he does not have damage immunity. Get rid of Django, and then it's on to Canderous. Canderous is only gear 12, so we get him down very quickly. And Bo-Katan does get her AoE off, but it doesn't do much damage. But I decided to shift to Watt and attack Watt a little bit in order to get back any protection that I had lost. And I end with a 65. Against the Geonosians, we go with the standard EP Vader. And I was really tempted here to just go with a Vader solo. But in the end, I decided I didn't really need to. So I took in just EP Vader and Mara Jade. This is old hat by now. Force Crush, Merciless, Call the Spy, take out the others one by one or ability block them. Force Crush on Sunfac or the Brute. Throw at the Alpha. Able to get the stun on Sunfac. And then Mara and EP work on Sunfac a bit. And 67. Bad Batch is a tough squad, so I was a little stumped on what to do here. So I decided to go up to the top zone. So I decided to try out a Nest solo here. My Nest is only Relic 2, not Relic 3, so I couldn't put a Datacron on her. But I think that's one that I'm going to definitely take to Relic 3 so that I can use a Datacron to make her solos a little bit more reliable. Now, was that foreshadowing? No, it was not. This works fine. I'll go ahead and just put it on fast forward. I did just put it on auto. I targeted Captain Han so that I can get rid of him so that there aren't any revives. Leia did get my Nest into the yellow, but when it came down to just the two of them, Nest was able to get the stun and the kill. So 68 manners there. Against the Night Sisters, I took the Imperial Troopers. I think this was overkill given the gear levels on these Night Sisters. I think it might have been a better idea to use the Troopers against the Bad Batch, because this is just ridiculously easy here. I'm wondering if the Ventress Omicron is going to change that at all. Every time the Troopers kill the Night Sisters, they get turn meter, but with Ventress's Omicron, the Night Sisters are also going to get turn meter when that happens. So the Night Sisters may actually be able to break up the run, and they may actually get some turns, but as is, an easy 65. I still had a ton left for offense, so against Jedi Training Rey, I decided to go with a mirror match. I had plenty of other squads I could have used here, but I thought this was probably my best bet at getting full banners. I could have used Grievous, I could have used General Skywalker, I could have used Padme, but in each of those cases, they're not great on banners. I thought that this was an opportunity to probably get full or close to full banners. So we took out Finn first, then BB-8 and Poe. And now I just need to try and live long enough to give my own Finn time to recover his protection. So I needed to get back around to another healing grenade, or I needed to get to Illuminated Destiny. Here's the healing grenade. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough, and I ended with 64 instead of 65. But I still think that's probably better than any of the other squads would have gotten. Against the Finn resistance, I probably could have done a gas solo here. But because we don't have feats in GAC anymore, I don't often think about doing extraneous solos. Like, I've got the solos that I normally do with Nest and Wampa, but outside of that, I usually don't think about doing solos. So we went with the Padme 4. I was able to chew through them fairly quickly. And because of the protection up, they didn't take any damage, and I ended with a 66. So now all we have left is the Bad Batch. I've got my General Skywalker. I took in the full 501st. I probably could have gone short-handed here. But again, without the feats for short-handed, I don't really worry about that anymore. We get our tenacity up. Of course, Echo will rip that away if given the choice. So I get rid of the taunt on Wrecker and then immediately go after Echo. And Echo is down. Able to chew through the rest of them. I probably should have put a Datacron on here, but it didn't matter. 65 banners. So 1403 going into the fleets is very good. Again, he had taken 2 against my Executor without clearing, so I wasn't worried about him coming back in full clearing. I just needed to clear. So we're going to again try the 2-shot against the Executor. I take in Mace. And I took in the Star Fortress, Poe Dameron, and the Jedi Consular. They get their AoE and take out the Star Fortress. We get the AoE that takes out the Consular, and then the AoE that takes out Poe, and I was not able to get out the taunt from the Houndstooth. So I think I need to start choosing a higher level ship as one of my throwaways. Because I didn't get rid of the Houndstooth's taunt, I decided to go in with my Malevolence instead of my Home 1. But my TIE Fighter is on defense, so I have to go in with Sunfac in the starting lineup instead of the TIE Fighter. I do take the Ebon Hawk as an additional reinforcement. But the key here is going to be getting in the Spy and using the Spy to delete one of the 2 sides. We get the stun on the Houndstooth. The AoE to knock down a little protection on the sides. Put the Buzz Droids out. They brought in Slave 1, which is not ideal. And I lost my Sunfac, which is also not ideal. So we bring in the Spy, and we got the taunt on the Razor Crest instead of the Xanadu. So I go after the Razor Crest, and man, they have really hurt this fleet with the assisting. It would be really nice if they fixed it so that the Vulture droids assist the way they're supposed to. I did get through the Razor Crest once, but not twice. I brought in the Ebon Hawk to try and delay them getting their ultimate. But then they took out my Hyena Bomber. I've gotten out none of their ships. So I finally get out the Razor Crest. So maybe I'll be able to clean this up. Maybe. I finally get my ultimate, but with only the Ebon Hawk on the field, that's not going to do much. My Ebon Hawk is still only 4 or 5 stars, so it goes down really quickly. Now I need less than 100 banners to win, so I just need to clear 2 fleets. So I'm going to ignore the Executor. I'm going to go after the Home 1 with my Negotiator. I debated going light on reinforcements, but in the end, I don't really have to clear the Executor. I just need to clear the other 2. So I did take in 3 reinforcements. We go after the Y-Wing first, and unbelievably, their Y-Wing is able to land the shield disruptor on my Y-Wing. So I did something a little different, and I did the unending loyalty straight away in order to save my Y-Wing. I don't know if that was smart or not. It probably wasn't, because they end up killing it anyhow. But maybe it saved one of my other ships. So now my Anakin is really close to death. So things are not going well. Not going well. I bring in Plo Koon, and I put the taunt on 5s to try and save Anakin. I'm still working on the Y-Wing. And I finally get the Y-Wing down. I've also done some good damage to the Falcon, and the AoE takes the Falcon out. So this battle was not going well at all. I was able to flip it. It looks like I should be able to win at this point. It won't be good banners, but I don't need it to be good banners. I just need to win 2 fleet battles. I finally get my ultimate, and that takes out the 2 Phoenix ships, and we get a 66. Lastly, we have the Raddus, and this is a poor Raddus fleet. So I decide that I'm going to try my Tarkin and leftover ships. I know this is very foolish. There's no reason for me to do this. I should just use my Home 1 here. But I'm a little bit stubborn, and I want the full clear. So we go straight after their Rey's Millennium Falcon. Of course, they're going to go straight after mine as well. I've got Biston in the starting lineup here. I never use Biston. My Biston is under-geared, so I don't really know what Biston does. My Raised Falcon almost went down. But I was able to get in the Clone Sergeant for the taunt. And then my Raised Falcon did go down, but I was able to get their Raised Falcon down as well. So you can see I got into quite a bit of trouble here. It was not a wise idea. My Landino ship was able to take out one of their X-Wings. But for every ship I get down, they're getting down one of mine. So this may be a victory, but it's going to be a low banner victory. I finally get my ultimate, and that takes out their final two ships, and a 61. That is enough to give me the victory, but I still want to get that Executor down. So I go in with my home one. I would have loved to have sent a burner in just to see where their cooldowns were at. We go after the Slave 1 first. Would have liked to have gone after the Xanadu, but the Xanadu is in stealth. Well, it turns out the opponent's cooldowns were pretty much in just the right spot, that it allowed me to get out one of the sides before the taunt, while the AoE after the taunt. But it did work very well. Per usual, we bring in the Phantom first. Get target lock on them. Unfortunately, they did get their contract. So I brought in Cassian this time instead of bringing in the Ghost. And I call the assists against the Houndstooth, and then I did the Shield Disruptor against the Houndstooth. And I was able to get the Houndstooth down. So once the Houndstooth is down, I've pretty much got this sewn up. Even if they destroy my capital ship, they don't have any more reinforcements to bring in. And it's 5-on-2 right now. Well, 4-on-2 now. But now 4-on-1. And 4-on-none. So 39 banners. I was able to clear it finally. 1790 is my final. Not a great score, but good enough to win. Paulydubb was not going to clear my executor, and even if he did, he wasn't going to get enough banners to catch me. So 1790 to 1493 was the final. Once again, very happy with the squad zones, very unhappy with the fleet zone. So I'd like to thank Paulydubb for the match. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you next round.